Welcome to Animal Stories for Kids. If you like our stories, please give us a 5-star rating, subscribe to our podcast, and share it with your friends and family. And now, it's time for our story. Once upon a time, there was an axolotl named Luis. Luis the axolotl lived in the waters of Lake Xochimilco in Mexico. He was a happy and cheerful axolotl. But more than that, Luis loved to explore every nook and cranny of the lake and all the waterways around it. For Luis the axolotl, every moment swimming around the lake and the waterways around the lake became a great adventure. It was almost magical. He noticed new things all the time, from the tall reeds swaying gently in the breeze to the colorful fish darting around him. Luis loved finding new things to bring back home, and there was always something that would pique Luis's interest in the lake. The lake was never boring, and there was always something new to find that was beautiful and intriguing. On one calm night, while the moon was high in the sky, Luis the axolotl swam lazily near the surface of the lake, and he spotted something shiny in the distance. He was so curious about what the shiny thing was, and he wanted to check it out. So he wriggled his tail excitedly and set off towards the mysterious shiny object. "I wonder what this shiny object is," said Luis the axolotl to himself as he swam towards the shiny object. And as Luis got closer to the shiny object, he saw that it was a small, shiny piece of a rock that had been chipped away. It was the size of a small pebble, and it was just lying there on the bottom of the lake, all shiny and glistening in the moonlight. Luis went up to the shiny rock and touched it. "Wow," said Luis the axolotl. "This is so beautiful. I wonder if I can hold on to this and take it home. It's pretty small, doesn't look heavy at all." Luis couldn't believe he found such a cool-looking piece of rock. And as he was ready to grab it to see if he could take it home, a crayfish swam by and snatched it away before Luis could grab it. "Hey," said Luis to the crayfish, "I was gonna take that home." But the crayfish kept swimming and was too far from Luis at this point. It wasn't worth Luis's time and energy at this point to chase it for a small shiny rock, even though it was a really cool-looking rock. Luis was disappointed. He thought he was going to bring home the shiny piece of rock, but he didn't let that stop him. He kept swimming around and enjoying looking at all the different things around the lake while hoping to find something that's interesting to take home. He was a little down that he couldn't take that shiny piece of rock home, but that made him want to find something else that he could take home. And after an hour or so of swimming around the lake, Luis the axolotl found himself following a windy canal that was covered with tall trees and that blocked a lot of the moonlight and made this part of the water darker. Luis the axolotl kept swimming and following the canal in search for something cool that he could take home. He kept looking everywhere as he swam, but he couldn't find anything interesting that he wanted to take home. Luis the axolotl said to himself, "I guess I'll never find something cool to take home at this point. Man, that shiny rock was really cool. I guess I'll try a little longer to find something, but if I can't find anything, I'll just go home." And as he kept swimming and lazily floating and following the current, he found himself entering into a cave that was tucked away and hidden inside the canal and the thick trees. He was now very interested in this new adventure he somehow got himself into. So he swam closer and closer into the cave, his heart pounding with excitement. And as he entered the cave, he saw something glowing in the dark, but he couldn't see what it was. So he swam ahead, wanting to see what it was. And as he turned around the corner, he saw something magical inside the cave. that he had never seen before. There were glowing mushrooms, and they were giving out a warm, soft glow that filled the cave with a dim and beautiful light. Luis the axolotl even saw other strange creatures creeping and crawling and slithering around the glowing mushrooms. He couldn't believe his eyes. "Wow," said Luis the axolotl while cautiously stepping out of the water for a moment to check out the mushrooms. "This is so beautiful. I don't even want to take them out of here and bring them home. These things belong here. They make this cave perfect." And as much as Luis wanted to take a small piece of a glowing mushroom, he really didn't want to mess any of it up because it was so precious looking and perfect just the way it was. And as Luis admired the glowing mushrooms and walked around the cave, he stumbled upon something else that was strange, yet wonderful. The glowing mushrooms were shining a dim light on the cave walls, and Luis was amazed at what he saw on the wall. It was some sort of drawing. Luis had no idea what it was, but it was amazing. And as Luis the axolotl was looking at this strange drawing on the cave wall, an older axolotl crawled around the corner and said to Luis, "Hello, young one." This startled Luis because he was so focused on what was on the cave wall. "Oh, hi," said Luis. "You startled me." The older axolotl asked Luis, "Do you know what you're looking at?" "No," replied Luis. "What is it?" The older axolotl said, "There is a legend that has been passed down for centuries. A long, long time ago, some humans came here to this cave and put these drawings on the cave walls." "What did the humans draw?" asked Luis the axolotl. "I can't even make out what these are supposed to be." The older axolotl said, "If you look closely, the humans drew a picture of an axolotl. Do you see this thing right here?" The older axolotl pointed at the drawing of the axolotl on the wall. "Yes," said Luis. "Now I see it. Wow." The older axolotl continued and said, "The humans drew this axolotl on the cave wall because they were telling a story of what they believed about us axolotls. The drawing shows that the humans thought the axolotl was a creature that had magical powers and incredible wisdom." Luis was so surprised and amazed at what he was seeing and hearing. And he said, "Hey, I'm an axolotl. I guess some humans think I'm really special." And the older axolotl said, "Yes, but more than that, they truly believed that we were supernatural and that we were divine beings." Luis the axolotl felt really good about himself after he found out that axolotls were known as really special animals. And as he stared and admired the cave drawings left behind by those long-gone humans, Luis realized something important. That even though he wasn't able to find something cool and interesting to take home like a shiny little rock, he understood that he was actually part of a much larger story. And he knew that this experience was much greater than anything else he could ever find. And with that, Luis turned to his new axolotl friend and said, "Thank you for showing me this. I might not have found a shiny rock to take home, but I found something more precious. Now I know more about myself, and I feel really good. And I don't need to take this home because I can take this experience anywhere I go." The older axolotl nodded with a smile on its face and said to Luis, "Sometimes the greatest treasures are the ones we realize within ourselves, friend." Then Luis said goodbye to the cave, the older axolotl, the glowing mushrooms, and the other creepy crawlies in the cave. And he left, taking with him not anything shiny, but memories and a deep sense of gratitude in knowing more about who he was. And he knew that no matter where he went on an adventure, he would always carry the magic of Lake Xochimilco in his heart. And the axolotl lived happily ever after. The end. The axolotl is a salamander closely related to the tiger salamander and is known as a pedomorphic salamander, which means the axolotl never goes through metamorphosis as it reaches adulthood. Salamanders' external gills are lost as they mature and become adults, but axolotls are pedomorphic salamanders, and so they retain all their features without going through metamorphosis and changing into a different form as other salamander adults do. And instead of going on land, the adults remain in the water. Axolotls can come in a wide variety of colors, from an olive tan color with gold speckles, white or pink skin with black eyes, gold skin, gray with black eyes, solid black, and other color variants. Axolotls can grow up to 18 inches long, but their average size can be around 9 inches, and they can weigh up to 8 ounces. Axolotls are carnivores and can eat worms, insects, other arthropods, and mollusks, as well as small fish. They have an ability to be able to smell underwater, and as they wait for their prey to come near, they'll snap at them, sucking in their prey into their mouths like a vacuum. Axolotls have poor eyesight. Axolotls' heads are wide, and they have lidless eyes. They have underdeveloped limbs, and they have long, thin toes. They have 3 pairs of external gill stalks that start from behind their heads and are used to move oxygenated water. Axolotls were originally found in some of the lakes in Mexico, with one of them being an ancient lake called Lake Xochimilco, which today is around a place called Parque Ecológico de Xochimilco. The axolotl is a critically endangered species. Even though there are many that live in aquariums around the world, there are not many that live out in the wild. Some say there are around only about 1,000 or so left in the world today, as of this recording. Axolotls are used in scientific research because of their ability to regenerate parts of their bodies. Axolotls are able to grow back limbs, gills, parts of their eyes, and even parts of their brains. And this ability to regrow parts of their bodies that were cut off is a phenomenon that scientists are trying to understand how these parts of the bodies can regenerate. And perhaps this can help humans in the future somehow. Axolotls' mouths are often bent and looks like they're smiling most of the time. Axolotls are generally solitary, which means they're on their own most of the time. And they're usually hiding among the plants and rocks at the bottom of bodies of water. The axolotls' predators include bigger fish and humans. In the wild, axolotls can live up to 15 years. In aquariums, they can live a little longer, up to 25 years. Axolotls have been found to be able to hold their breath for a whole year. The axolotl is also called Ambystoma mexicanum. Axolotls live in fresh water and mainly in Mexico City. Axolotls are sometimes known as Mexican walking fish, but their name comes from an ancient Aztec word meaning water dog or water monster. According to the Aztec legend, the axolotl was an Aztec god of fire and lightning that disguised himself as a salamander to avoid being sacrificed. Axolotls are nocturnal animals, and they try to avoid bright lights. Have you seen a real-life axolotl before? If you have, where did you see it? Thanks for listening to Animal Stories for Kids. If you like our stories, please give us a 5-star rating, subscribe to our podcast, and share it with your friends and family. Until next time, bye! If your child loves imaginative stories, I'd love to share my picture book, What Else Should I Eat? It's about a girl who's hungry and goes on a whimsical journey through a magical land of food, trying different kinds of food and exploring how they look, taste, feel, and smell. It's a fun way to show kids that eating different kinds of food can be exciting. The book is perfect for ages 3 to 6, and older kids enjoy it too. You can find What Else Should I Eat on Amazon and other online bookstores. Find all the details in the show notes.